Now in this lesson we look at scatterplots and correlation. Now scatterplots are graphs showing data as ordered pairs, that is, dots. They are used to help us to describe the data in useful ways. Let's look at an example. We have a table here where the temperature in degrees Celsius is linked with the number of people. Now we need to draw a scatterplot for this data collected from a swim centre. Then in part 2, describe the trend in the data if one exists. Let's do the first part initially. To draw a scatterplot for this data collected from the swim centre. Now, there's our axes, the temperature in degrees Celsius, and the number of people. Now, looking at each of these as a separate dot. Okay, when the temperature is 24, there are 48 people attending. So we mark that in, 24 across and 48 up. Our next point, 25 and 55. That's 25 across and 55 up. Now when the temperature is 26, there are 65 people. So 26 across and 65 up. 27, 105. So 27 across, 105 up. 28, 138 would be there. 29 and 235 would be there on the graph. 30 and 291 would give us a point up there. And finally 31 and 349 would give us a point there. So we have drawn all the points in. Now we need to describe the trend in the data if one exists. Now you can see that those points are all certainly going up. Alright, not quite a straight line though, is it? If we gave that a bit of a curve as such, we could draw a fairly good line that would fit those points. So we would say then that the data shows a strong, positive, non-linear trend. Okay, it's going up, so it's positive. It's a strong trend because the line we've drawn goes through quite a lot of the points. Okay, it's very tight with the points, but we say it's non-linear because it's not a straight line. Okay, it was a curve. Now, we talk about trends now. We can say that an increase in the temperature leads to an increase in the number of people using the centre. Alright, that's why we use this data to describe trends if one exists. Just before we move on, note, scatterplots are often called scatter graphs. Okay, well I think you'll be able to work that out, but I'll just let you know there, just in case you see, scatterplots and scatter graphs mean the same thing. Now let's talk about correlation. Now correlation indicates a relationship, okay, connection, between two sets of data. Now let's consider a variety of graphs. This particular one here, if we drew a line through those points, a fairly tight line, we would say that has a strong positive correlation. The next one here, the points there, well you can see that they generally are going upwards. Alright, we could draw a line through those points as such, but it's certainly not very strong, is it? We would say it's a weak positive correlation. Now both of those first two were positive because the graphs are going uphill, okay, from left to right, much like our work on gradient. The graphs are going uphill, so positive. What about this one here? Well, this time all the points seem to be going down. Okay, so we could draw our line through those points, and we say again it's very strong. Okay, those points are very tight around the line, but this time it's negative correlation because it's going down. Other times, okay, again going down, but the point's certainly not as tight around the line as the previous one. We would say that it has a weak negative correlation. What about this one here? Okay, we'd say it has a negative correlation. It's a little bit between a very strong one and a weak one. So we would say it has a moderate negative correlation. Okay, moderate. There are times though where if you look at that one, would you try to draw a straight line that would represent those points? Well, I think that would be pretty tough. In fact, there is no correlation in that instance.